Psychosexual Development by Sigmund Freud. According to Freud, there are 5 stages of psychosexual development. These are oral stage, anal stage, phallic stage, latency stage, and genital stage. Freud's belief that personality development in childhood takes place during 5 psychosexual stages. During each stage, sexual energy is expressed in different ways and through different parts of the body. These are called psychosexual stages because each stage represents the fixation of libido, roughly translated as sexual drives or instincts, on a different area of the body. As a person grows physically, certain areas of their body become important as sources of potential frustration, erogenous zones, pleasure, or both. First stage is the oral stage. This is from birth to 1 year. The erogenous zone of this stage is the mouth. During the oral stages, the baby gets much satisfaction from putting all sorts of things in its mouth to satisfy the libido, which at this stage in life are oral or mouth orientated, such as sucking, biting, and breastfeeding. Freud said oral stimulation could lead to an oral fixation in later life. Fixation or results from failure to satisfy the needs of a particular psychosexual stage. In oral stage, these are the following: oral receptive may become smokers, alcohol drinker, and overeater. Oral aggressive may become nail biters, thumb suckers, use curse words or gossip. May become too dependent on others, easily fooled, and lack leadership traits. May become pessimistic and aggressive. Oral personalities engage in such oral behaviors, particularly when under stress. The second stage is the anal stage. This is from 1 to 3 years old. The erogenous zone of this stage is the anus, and the child derives great pleasure from defecating. Freud believed that this type of conflict tends to come to a head in potty training, in which adults impose restrictions on when and where the child can defecate. Fixation during this stage or early or harsh potty training can lead to the child becoming an anal retentive personality who hates mess, is obsessively tidy, punctual, and respectful of authority. They can be stubborn and tight-fisted with their cash and possessions. In adulthood, the anal expulsive is the person who wants to share things with you. They like giving things away. An anal expulsive personality is also messy, disorganized, and rebellious. This is the third stage of psychosexual development, the phallic stage, spanning the ages of 3 to 6 years, wherein the infant's libido centers upon their genitalia as the erogenous zone. The child becomes aware of anatomical sex differences, which sets in motion the conflict between erotic attraction, resentment, rivalry, jealousy, and fear, which Freud called the Oedipus complex in boys and the Electra complex in girls. According to Freud, Oedipus complex are boys wanting to possess the mother and the desire to replace the father. They begin to view their father as a rival. In Electra complex, Freud believed that the girls experience penis envy. He describes a girl sees competition with her mother for the affection of her father. Fixation during this stage is sexual deviances and a weak or confused sexual identity.
The next stage is the latency stage, 6 years to puberty. The latency stage is the fourth stage of psychosexual development. spanning the period of 6 years to puberty. During this stage, the libido is dormant. No further psychosexual development takes place. So latent means hidden. Freud thought that most sexual impulses are repressed during the latent stage, and sexual energy can be sublimated towards schoolwork, hobbies, and friendship. Much of the child's energy is channeled into developing new skills and acquiring new knowledge, and play become largely confined to the other children of the same gender. In this stage, sexual feelings is inactive. He argued that this is when sexual energy was channeled into a sexual activities like learning, hobbies, and social relationship, or means a relationship between two or more individuals. He felt that this stage is when people develop healthy social and communication skills. The last stage is what we called the genital stage. The genital stage is the last stage of Freud's psychosexual theory of personality development and begins in puberty. It is a time of adolescent sexual experimentation, the successful resolution of which is settling down in a loving one-to-one relationship with another person in our 20s. Sexual instinct is directed to heterosexual pleasure rather than self-pleasure like during the phallic stage. For Freud, the proper outlet of the sexual instinct in adults was through heterosexual intercourse. Fixation and conflict may prevent this with the consequence that sexual perversion may develop. For example, fixation at the oral stage may result in a person gaining sexual pleasure primarily from kissing and oral sex rather than sexual intercourse. So to make it short, the genital stage, according to Freud, it is when an individual begins to have strong sexual interest in the opposite sex. And if the stage is successful, this is when folks have heterosexual intercourse and develop loving, lifelong relationship